Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kathy Hilton wants Kyle Richards to start playing the field. Celebrity divorces are generally very public and can often be messy. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stars Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky are now going their separate ways. While the two seem to publicly treat each other with respect, there are definitely hurt feelings behind the scenes. Mauricio seems to have completely moved on. Meanwhile, Kyle is still working through her feelings. But her sister Kathy Hilton thinks it's time she explored the dating world too. Right now, it doesn't seem like Kyle Richards is interested in finding someone new. But even so, her family would love to see her fall in love again, especially her sister. When Us Weekly asked Kathy if she was encouraging Kyle to play the field, Kathy responded with an emphatic yes. "I think it will take a while," Kathy continued. I think right now her daughters are the most important thing. She's working so much that it's hard to get out there, and after working all day, you're kind of tired." Kathy also noted that Kyle is making the best of things after new photos of Mauricio Umansky kissing another woman circulated online. The situation is jarring, to say the least. But Kathy isn't the only RHOBA star to rally around Kyle during her time of need. Garcelle Beauvais chimed in and told Us Weekly that she's just trying to be a good friend to Kyle right now. "I think that's what you do when a friend is going through something uncomfortable," she shared. "We try to rally. I just love her and I love our friendship and where it's going, and so I want to be there for her to support her in any way that I can," Sutton Strack added. A high-profile divorce would certainly stress anyone out. But even so, Kyle Richards is putting herself first and celebrating her health and wellness. In a recent Instagram post, she also shared that she is 2 years sober. "But the real reward is how I feel on the inside. I feel strong, energetic, and grateful for my body. I want to take care of it like it has taken care of me," she shared in the caption. "It would have been a lot harder going through these difficult times if I'd have been drinking. I want to wake up every day feeling my best, mentally and physically strong enough to face whatever comes my way." What do you think about Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky's split? Do you think it's time for Kyle to move on too? Leave your own thoughts in the comments. Kathy Hilton sat on the sun-drenched terrace of her Beverly Hills mansion, sipping iced tea while watching her sister Kyle pace back and forth. The sharp sound of Kyle's heels clicked against the stone floor, her movements restless, her face a mix of frustration and worry. The family drama surrounding her marriage had reached its boiling point, and the toll it was taking on Kyle was evident in every tense muscle, every sigh she let out. Enough is enough, Kathy finally spoke, her voice carrying the calm authority of someone who had seen it all. She set her glass down with a soft clink, leaning forward in her chair. "Kyle, you need to stop letting all of this consume you." Kyle halted mid-step, her hands dropping to her sides in a defeated gesture. "What do you expect me to do, Kathy? It's not that simple. This marriage, Mauricio and I, we've built a life together. It's hard to just walk away from it." Kathy tilted her head, her perfectly styled blonde hair catching the light. Her blue eyes were filled with empathy, but also determination. "I'm not saying you have to walk away, but it's time you take a step back and remember who you are. You're Kyle Richards, smart, beautiful, successful. You don't need to let your entire identity revolve around this marriage." Kyle sank into a chair opposite her sister, her expression softening as the weight of her emotions settled. "I just don't know what the next step is. I feel like I've tried everything to fix things with Mauricio, but we keep hitting the same wall." And now, she hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I don't even know if I want to fix it anymore." Kathy smiled gently, sensing that this was the moment she'd been waiting for. She reached across the table and took Kyle's hand. Then maybe it's time to start thinking about what you want for yourself. I know it's scary to imagine life without him, but you don't have to be afraid to explore the possibilities. Kyle's brows furrowed in confusion. What are you saying? I'm saying, Kathy began, her smile turning sly, maybe it's time for you to start playing the field. Kyle blinked, momentarily stunned by her sister's suggestion. Playing the field? Kathy, I'm still married. For now, Kathy responded smoothly. But Kyle, let's be real. You're not happy. You've been stuck in this cycle of trying to please everyone else, especially Mauricio, and you've forgotten how to take care of yourself. I'm not saying go out there and start dating immediately, but you need to open yourself up to the idea that there's more out there for you. Kyle shifted uncomfortably in her seat, though her curiosity was piqued. You make it sound so easy. Kathy laughed, a rich sound that echoed off the walls of her opulent home. Trust me, I know it's not easy. But nothing worth having ever is. Look at me. I've been through my own ups and downs with Rick, and I know how hard it can be to keep a relationship alive. But I also know that you don't have to stay in something that no longer serves you. Kyle bit her lip, considering her sister's words. Her marriage had indeed felt like a losing battle for a while now. The fights, the cold silences, the growing emotional distance, it was all weighing her down, suffocating her sense of self. She had spent so many years building a family, a career, and maintaining an image of the perfect wife. But now, standing at a crossroads, Kyle realized she didn't know where to turn next. And what if I do? Kyle asked, her voice hesitant. What if I explore life without Mauricio? What if I date? What if I start over? Kathy squeezed her hand, her expression soft but firm. Then you do it. You take your life back, one step at a time. You don't have to commit to anything right away, but start by rediscovering who Kyle Richards is outside of being someone's wife. Kyle's eyes glazed with a mix of fear and excitement. The prospect of dating, of re-entering the world as a single woman, was both terrifying and exhilarating. She had been with Mauricio for so long, she barely remembered what it was like to be on her own. Yet part of her, deep down, was intrigued by the idea of new possibilities. I wouldn't even know where to begin, Kyle admitted, running a hand through her long dark hair. The dating scene has changed so much since I was last single. There's apps now, right? Kathy chuckled. Yes, there are apps, but you don't have to jump into that right away. Just focus on you for now. Get back to the things you love, spend time with your friends, and maybe let a little flirtation into your life if it feels right. The rest will follow. Kyle nodded slowly, the tension in her shoulders easing as the conversation continued. Maybe Kathy was right. Maybe she had spent too much time trying to fix something that wasn't meant to be fixed. Maybe it was time to let go of the life she had known and embrace whatever came next. For the first time in a long while, Kyle felt a small flicker of hope. Not necessarily for her marriage, but for herself, for the woman she had buried beneath years of compromise and self-sacrifice. She didn't know what her future held, but she knew one thing. She deserved to find out. Kathy, Kyle said after a long pause, her voice firmer than before. I think you're right. It's time for me to put myself first for once. Kathy's face lit up with pride. Now that's the Kyle Richards I know. The world is yours, darling. Don't be afraid to take it. Kyle smiled, her heart a little lighter than it had been in months. She didn't have all the answers yet, but she felt a sense of empowerment returning to her, a reminder that she was still in control of her own destiny. As she stood to leave, Kyle glanced at her sister one last time. Thanks, Kathy. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I think I'm ready to start exploring. Kathy raised her glass in a mock toast to new adventures. Kyle returned the gesture with a grin. To new adventures. And with that, she walked out into the sunlight, ready to face whatever came next.